Andrea, do you remember Violent Delights?
I read my summary and I sort of remember it.
You want to do it? Let me get mine. Hold on.
Did you recommend this to Liz?
No, we're just
I
the
don't,
same person.
You strangely are. I feel
I
like I
rated
was
it.
kind of,
You guys, this is my book club sweatshirt. I love it. Have you guys been wearing yours? Look at this.
yes.
Mhm.
It's so
I
comfy.
have a fun story. Real quick side note. I wore my book club sweatshirt home on the plane from Iowa to Arizona for Christmas. And we got stuck in Dallas, Fort Worth. We missed our connection because of a bunch of delays. And we had to spend the night in Dallas, Fort Worth. And so we were on our way from the airport to the hotel. And we were walking outside, and it was midnight. And I found a book. I'll show you the book.
So we found a book on the ground.
I found the book on the ground. And normally I don't take things, but I was like, it's a book. I have to save it. It's called Lucky Me. And I'm going to read it.
What
And
is that?
right? It's like an autobiography, I think.
Oh,
I should check the Goodreads rating.
I feel really dumb, but who's Rich Paul?
Oh, it's a memoir. He is very ripped. Memoir of Changing the Odds. I was so excited at midnight to get this book that I found. And I picked it up and I was holding it like this. And the bottom was like black from probably being outside and it stained my book club sweatshirt. And I like tried to get it out and I got it maybe 90% out, but now I have a book, an outline of a book, like bottom of the book on my book club sweatshirt. And I think
Is it
it's
like
fantastic.
ruined?
Now it's just you probably wouldn't be able to tell unless you knew it was there. I got most of it out, but I stopped trying because I thought it was kind of neat. Kind of like a book tattoo.
I can't. That's weird. Do the sweatshirts like summon books? You think?
I think so. You just have to wear them in public everywhere you go, and maybe you'll find a book.
I'll do it. I will.
Sorry.
Andrea, have you worn yours yet?
Yeah,
Good.
that's super comfy.
I ate some of the honey. It's so good. I want to order like a tub. Like, what's the biggest size he sells?
He has like a mason jar one that we have.
I feel like when I come back to Iowa, I'm getting a mason jar of honey. And I'm also going back to the chocolates place in Pella
Oh,
because
nice.
those are so freaking good. And like,
Does the bee place have shirts? Because I kind of want a Bob's Bitchin' Bees shirt.
I don't think he has shirts. He has a Facebook though that has his store.
Oh,
So
cool.
like everything you can buy.
I'm gonna follow him now on Facebook because
I'll
the
put
honey's
it.
excellent and I love the name.
I'll put it in
Hmm.
the description. Anyone else can go check out Bob's Bitchin' Bees.
And please the chocolate shop because those chocolates were I think about them often.
I
I
I
forget.
like the candles from the bee store too. They're really good.
You can get what? Candles.
Mhm.
They're too cute. I can't burn it.
I love
Well,
them.
he
I tell
makes
my
them
mom
every year, so you can get more.
I need to do it.
Um,
Does it
Let's
smell
go.
like honey when you burn
It's like wax.
it? Okay. All right, so we'll do another review. Andrea and I read these two, and like, don't judge me, but one is paperback and one's hardcover because I was in the airport and I finished my two books I brought on my trip, and I still had to flight home, and I was like, I'll go crazy if I don't have a book, and all they had was paper book at the airport, and I randomly grabbed this, and I was like, oh, I've seen it on TikTok. We'll see how it is. And then I bought hardcover for the next one. Don't judge me.
I'm surprised
So
you didn't order a hardback of the original one too.
I know, I need to. I considered buying this one in paperback, but then it's this duology and it's over. And then there's a related duology, and then there's like a novella for the series. And the rest of them you can get in hardcover. And I was like, I can't commit to paperback for 5 books just because I screwed up once at an airport. Does that make sense?
That's
Well,
fair.
so it's These Violent Delights and These Violent Ends. It's very hard for me to say. I don't know why, but violent is a hard word for me. I have a speech impediment. Don't make fun of me. Andrea read it too.
Hmm.
Right, Andrea?
Yep.
So this is,
Okay.
they're really pretty books too. So pretty.
Mhm.
So this duology is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but it's in Shanghai, China in the 1920s. And it's really cool because like Juliet is like they're gangster families that are fighting. And Juliet is Chinese. Her family is like from Shanghai. And then Romeo is actually he goes by Roma, and his real name's Roman, and he's Russian, and his family like escaped the Bolshevik Revolution, I think. And like there's a large Russian population in Shanghai, and they have their own rival gang. So it's those two families like fighting, and it's like a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, and it's really good.
Did you also think it was really good, Andrea?
Yeah, I rated it an A-.
Wow.
I read it in 4 days.
Both of them?
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. That says something. Liz, what did you rate it?
I rated it a B plus, so very close to Andrea because we have to do the same for everything. It's like YA fantasy, like there's some magic in here. So you have to keep that in mind. And it's YA, like it's like half a chili pepper. It's like not much. But it's like a really good story, and I love like the world it was set in. I don't know, I liked it.
Did you feel like you already knew the ending because you knew the Romeo and Juliet story?
I can't talk about the ending.
I guess what I'm asking is if it follows not just like them dying to a T, but like if it follows the original story pretty closely, or if the author interpreted it to have a few different elements.
The author interpreted, I think, to have some different elements in it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to put a spoiler on this or whatever, but like you know that I can't read a series where like the two main love interests like really die. Like I can't do it.
So they don't die.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's unclear. In my mind, they got away and they're
Mhm.
hidden away.
Yeah, because at the very end, there's like a thing that makes you not sure.
Yeah. It's like unclear. But like I don't know. I wouldn't have even read, I had to Google it from the beginning because I wouldn't have even read like a
Oh,
story like that.
you
Also, like in
Googled the
Romeo and
ending
Juliet, where
before you
like
even read the book.
no, I said do like Juliet and Roma like end up together. That's all I Google. I have to know before I start. I can't invest like emotional energy into a book that's gonna make me sad.
Oh my God. Well, I
Do you
guess
guys do
you
that?
don't
Or do
know.
you wait to be surprised? Because I don't want to be surprised. I want to know.
Sam, do you wait or do you look?
I mean, I would kind of assume with this one what happens, but I would try not to look, but I've looked things up like in Throne of Glass, she has a dog, so I definitely made sure the dog didn't die before
Yeah.
I kept reading that series.
That's
So
fair.
yeah, I did not look the ending up of this one. I just kind of assumed that they would end up together.
This is a side tangent or a side question. Did you guys look up the ending to Crescent City 2? Did you read the final chapter before you got to the final chapter?
No.
No, but I had like friends who had read it that hinted that like, so I was like, I don't want to read it. I'm like stuck in the ACOTAR world, like mentally. And they're like, no, you have to finish it. And they were like, kind of, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, there's some tie-in.
Yeah. I knew there was a tie-in just from like TikTok and like other people and stuff, but I didn't know like exactly what.
I thought that there was, I had assumed the same thing, that it comes into play, but I assumed it would be more like Aelin crossing over, like falling through the sky, and not that Bryce would actually end up in the world and see and talk to them. I thought it was going to be subtler, and I was shocked that it was something so big. But I'm very glad that I didn't read ahead on that one because reading that final chapter for the first time was so exciting.
It was so exciting. I was like, oh my God, Reese, I missed you.
This is like the first time we've ever heard of like accounts from him in years, or anything new from that realm. It's cool.
I was also like fascinated to hear like Bryce describe them like in her mind, and you like didn't know at first like what was really going on, right? But then when I was like, it was crazy to me when she described Reese as like looking exactly like her brother, like could have been a brother's twin, but with like a different hairstyle. I was like, oh, what's happening? I can't wait for the next book, you guys. I'm gonna die.
Me neither.
So soon, like 2 weeks ish.
Really.
I know. Brad and I are going to Mexico on the 23rd, and we get back the 30th, like the day before it comes out. And I was like, but I want to be reading it on the beach. Maybe we should like postpone a week. We like wait till the book gets in and then we go.
Those are good books to take with you on vacation too, because they're so thick you only need to bring one.
I know.
This series sounds good though. I would definitely read it.
I liked it.
I bought the next like related duology and I started that. It's about Rosalind, Juliette's cousin, who I think is in the
Oh.
original Shakespeare version too. So it's good. I told
you read
Ian about it.
You haven't read it yet, Anne?
Mm-mm.
Have you guys heard of or read any others from this author?
I haven't.
No. I don't know what else she's written. I should look it up. The books are written well, but you can definitely tell like you would have like loved these more in high school, kind of. Like they're like I feel like a little they're very YA. Like I
I
still
read
read
it
them.
so long ago too.
I just Googled her. She's super pretty.
Has she
She's
written a lot of
really-
books?
This was her debut novel. Good for her.
Oh.
It's very good, especially for her first book. It's good.
That's impressive.
That was super good.
So evidently she has this duology, and then she has like the other related duology and a novella, and then she just started a different series, and its first book came out last year, a more Flesh and False God series. First book is Immortal Longings.
Well, you should read that one too.
Except it's a series, and only one book is out. Madeline, we can't do
That
it.
would break your cardinal rule.
No. I'm like dying with Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I need to know what happens, and I hate that it's
I want them to come out and state publicly, officially, that the next book comes out next year. Right now, I think a few dates have been thrown around and it has been changed on Goodreads. And so I hope that it doesn't get pushed back even further.
I'm gonna freak out. Andrea, did you finish Iron Flame yet?
I was
Yeah,
reading it this
I know
morning
you
though.
have a good excuse. Like I get it, but like, come on.
I got so behind on the book club one, so I finished the reading yesterday, and then I started reading Iron Flame again. Like I read like 4 chapters this morning.
You started back at the beginning?
No, like I started reading it again, so I got caught up on book club, so I had time.
There's like when do you think you'll finish Iron Flame? Because we have a lot of theories we need to discuss.
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
Courtney
I like
finished
it.
it.
Yeah, I have a schedule figured out, so now it's just like doing it.
Like while
But
he's
then Corey's
sleeping.
gonna be gone, so I'm like, I don't know. It might be a little slower when he goes back to work.
That makes
I
sense.
think that once you get halfway through, it gets to the point where you're like, I have to figure out what happens. Though. So I think the first half it's good, but the second half is great. That's my opinion.
I'm almost to the second half. I feel like I'm almost to the middle.
I feel like it's
So.
like all really good, but I feel like it picks up so much that like it's just crazy.
Well, because you start connecting dots and you start
Mhm.
kind of going on. Yeah. We'll have to do that review of the both of them because we never did Fourth Wing. So we should do book 1 and 2 when you
I
finish.
don't think we did, yeah.
Do it. Well, that was Violent Delights. Sorry for all the spoilers on all the other books.
And Violent Ends. You should read it. Buy a hardcover in both, though.
What?
Oh, buy a hardcover for both.
Yes.
This makes me uncomfortable.
If this is your book from Dallas Fort Worth Airport, I'm so sorry, but I'm keeping it.
And
Unless
it
you
was great.
email me and give me a good reason to why I should ship it to you. Boom. Cool. I think I'm lagging. I feel rude. I keep interrupting you guys, but I
Oh
think
my
I'm
God, you're always rude. It's fine.
okay. I'm sorry.
My dogs are so angry. I shut the door. They're like pawing at the door. Andrea, where are your dogs?
They're downstairs. Corey's playing with the baby in his room, so he shut them downstairs.
How are they with Ren?
They're good. They like when he makes noise, they like look at him, try to see what he's doing. But other than that, they're pretty chill.
Oh, that's nice.
I saw the picture of Ren on Corey's lap, and I think it was Dixie on the chair, and maybe
And Athena.
yeah, and then another dog was on the couch. Was it Bonnie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so cute. They're all like, "What's going on? What are you guys doing?"
Yep.
On his lap too.
Yep, they're all chilling.
Aw.
Yeah, they're pretty good with him.
Okay, do we have time for one more? We do one.
We have 3 minutes.
Can you do 1 in 3 minutes, Madeline?
I don't know because this one was so good.
Do you need longer? I could do maybe a quick one.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else I read.
We do one Sunday too.
Okay. Let me see if I wrote any. Let's do
I read a Stephen King one.
Oh yeah, let's do that one. I don't know why, but I'm just not a fan of Stephen King. And I
I
think
don't think I've
actually
ever read anything.
okay. So Motherland Liz tried to make us read it one time for book club, in the very OG book club. And that is when I started to dislike Stephen King. But then we read The Tower and it was pretty good.
Dark Tower is so good.
Dark Tower is good.
So I read Fairy Tale, which is like a newer book by Stephen King. I got it for Christmas last year. I forgot who got it for me. Sorry, I think mom did. So I normally really like Stephen King, obsessed with the Dark Tower series, and I was like, this is called Fairy Tale. This will be excellent. I rated it like a C+. It wasn't amazing. I was very sad, but I finished it. But so the book is about this young boy, and he ends up meeting his like older neighbor that lives up the street, and he falls and he takes care of him and his old dog. And then the guy dies, but he leaves him a tape that's like, go look in the shed. And in the guy's shed, in the ground is like what looks like a well, but it's like a tunnel that has stairs going down. And you walk down it and he goes with the dog and you walk all the way down to the bottom. And it's a different world. And you like walk out and it's not like a tunnel world. He like opens up and there's like a sky and there's a whole nother world. And it's like all these kind of like dark fairy tale creatures or like fairy tale people like in stories kind of like live there too. And he goes and meets people, and some people's faces are kind of like disfigured and like blurred kind of, and they can't really talk. You can't find out what's going on, but it turns out in this world there's a sundial, like this huge sundial in a palace that's been taken over by these bad people. But if you put something on the sundial and you turn it backwards, they like age in reverse, so they become younger. So he takes his old dog there because he wants to make the dog younger because the dog's really sick and old and he doesn't want the dog to die. But he has to go through all this stuff and there's like evil trolls and there's like magic and there's like bad stuff. And meanwhile, he's just like gone down this portal and left a note for his dad that's like, hey, sorry, be back later. And his like poor single dad who's like dealing with alcoholism and is like very emotionally fragile, just like thinks the son's disappeared. I was just really sad about the old dog the whole time, and it was hard for me to concentrate on everything else. So it got a C+. Was not amazing, was good, was not amazing.
Did the dog live?
Spoiler, dog lives. The dog becomes younger and the dog lives. But then he never takes the dog back, so the dog doesn't the dog will eventually die. has all down
How
steep,
come
but
you
I
didn't rate it higher? What was it missing?
don't know. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. There was something like amazing. It was just meh. Would probably not recommend. You can skip it if you've got a lot on your TBR. I'd skip this one.
Okay.